Good evening. My name is Katrina Albright, and I am doing Module 8 video presentation on the body systems. I am using a note card this evening, and it is the outline from Blackboard with the points on it. The body system that I chose is the endocrine system. The endocrine system consists of all the endocrine cells and tissues in the body that produce hormones for the body. So when we talk about the endocrine system, we're talking about the hypothalamus, which is an endocrine organ. We're talking about the pituitary gland, the thyroid gland. We're talking about the adrenal glands that sit atop the kidneys. An endocrinologist studies endocrinology or the endocrine system. If you're going to have an endocrine surgery, that's a subset of general surgery, so you would have a general surgeon to do that surgery for you. The endocrine organ that I chose was the thyroid. I know we just went over the endocrine system, but I found it very fascinating. I learned quite a bit, so I enjoyed even the discussion post about it, so I learned quite a bit. So I chose the thyroid. The thyroid is found in the neck. It is a butterfly-shaped organ around the trachea, divided into two lobes. So it has an anterior lobe and a posterior lobe, divided and put together by a slender material called the isthmus. That is going to be anterior right up front here that you would be able to see if you were looking at a picture of the thyroid. It's found on the anterior trachea. It is going to be inferior to the hyoid bone. It's going to be inferior to the thyroid cartilage, inferior to the cricoid cartilage. Then sits the thyroid. Underneath that, you will be able to see some trachea. And then below that, you'll feel the hardness of your sternum. So from your chin to your sternum, right in this area, you will be able to find the thyroid gland. 5 landmarks when we're looking for the thyroid gland. If we slide our finger down our neck, again, hyoid bone here. The thyroid cartilage is also called the Adam's apple. So it's quite easy to find that Adam's apple in a male. Cricoid, you can feel the cricoid rings if you press on that. So it's going to be medial to the internal jugulars. Those are some landmarks as well. We have the trachea underneath, and then again we have the sternum if we're looking. There are 2 major blood supplies, which makes our thyroid very deep red in color. Those blood supplies are going to be the superior thyroid artery and the inferior thyroid artery. Both of those branch off of the common carotid artery. The thyroid gland extends down over the trachea into the 2nd or 3rd cartilaginous ring that you can feel there. If we talk about the main functions of our thyroid, we're talking about the regulation of metabolism that helps with our digestive function, our cardiac function, things of that nature. It's very important in the development of our body and the growth of our body as well. In order to have a good functioning thyroid gland, we need to make sure we have iodine in our diet. That can come from iodinized salt or certain fish as well. So the pituitary gland is going to release TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. This is going to stimulate our thyroid to produce T3 and T4, which are hormones, which together are known as the thyroid hormones. So it just lets the thyroid know how much it needs to make. So the thyroid is going to produce those hormones, and then if it produces not enough, we are referred to as hypothyroid, or we have hypothyroidism, and we have an underactive thyroid. Symptoms of that include tiredness, weight loss, losing a lot of hair. If our thyroid is overproducing, we have an overactive thyroid, we are known as hyperthyroid, hyperthyroidism. That is some weakness, some tremors, thinning of the hair. When our thyroid acts up, its first reaction is going to be to get bigger. That biggerness is called a goiter. I actually had one. It was huge. I went to the hospital here and they said it was the second biggest one they'd ever seen. It was a good teaching case for them apparently. But to get rid of that, I had a total thyroidectomy. Side note, if you're going to have surgery, always get a second opinion and make sure you know the side effects that come with it. Don't just sign on that dotted line. So I hope you can see that our thyroid gland is very important to the overall development of our body and a healthy lifestyle. Thanks so much.